Yep, that's the ferry of the Russian Federation, which is parked in Crimea. Kind of the not safe place to park. Yeah, you cannot park there, otherwise you're gonna be fined. Actually, two of the ferries were there, and Russia sent those from Russian Federation itself to operate inside Azov Sea and also on occupied territories. So Russia lost two of the ferries just yesterday. So Ukraine cancelled lots of the Russian ships, mostly tankers, but also Russian very important ferries. They're used to transport cargo trucks and fuel trucks, so those are very, very important to be cancelled by Ukraine, and Ukraine did it. Fantastic job. One of the ferries was Maria, that was found by Ukrainian drones and cancelled immediately. The bigger one you might see, so lots of the trucks once again could be there or other vehicles. So it was damaged, not completely cancelled, but it cannot operate any longer. And the other one is Yeisk, a smaller ferry, but also used to transport the same vehicles. Maybe not the trucks themselves, but smaller vehicles, yeah, like Bukhanka vans maybe. And oh, one more ferry, Sky One. Yeah, Sky One was hit before. Well, maybe Ukraine added one more. I just wonder, but anyways, the drone is enough to cancel the operation of the vessel. And this is the website where you may get the statistics. Also, it is available in English. And of course, other tankers were hit. The situation there is as usual. And still, there are many of the vessels of Russian army, Russia itself. It's not the army. Those are the commercial ships, but they're operating to maintain either Russian economy or the Russian military. And this satellite image shows multiple of the Russian vessels in Azov Sea. Most of them have already been hit by the drones. Plus, we know that Russia does not allow any more ships to enter the sea any longer. And also it blocked the way through the Kerch Bridge or Kerch Strait. And even on those satellite images, we might see the aftermath of the Ukrainian drone strikes. They're very, very effective. Even the Russians are retweeting those photos on their channels, and both of those ferries which were kaputted, yeah, three of those totally altogether, so they say that Ukraine hits continue to strike Russian ships in the Azov Sea. Ukraine gradually disables Russian infrastructure. That's what they write, okay. Also on one of the vessels you might see that Russians put ropes, but ropes do not help. It is visible that still the main part of the ship, like the control room, I guess it's on fire. My friends, just a short reminder for you, please like this video just right now while you're watching it, and also subscribe for the channel, it matters a lot. And obviously, if you like what I do, if you appreciate my job, and if you have the opportunity, you may support me on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join YouTube membership by pressing button join. Thank you so much for your kind support. You're making this content possible. My friends, you're awesome, and let's continue with the video. But you know, Russia also hit Ukrainian ships. For example, this video was shared by Zvezda News, that's the Russian channel, and it is filmed on Giran drone, the analog of the Iranian Shahid, which is now being produced in Russia. So you might see the cargo ship in the aim of the drone. Then the drone was flying, however, we don't have the evidence that any sort of the vessel was actually hit. And this is one more cargo, but the drone is like either the camera is zooming in, or the drone is flying to the target. The video is just like that. I am taking it directly from the Russian channel, and they're not showing the impact. So it seems like some of the surveillance drone is just flying there from the very far distance, maybe. Maybe it wasn't really the strike on those ships, because the Russian Defense Ministry reported the strike on the Ukrainian military vessel. Two of those, one patrol ship and the other boat has been used to transport Ukrainian drone boats. That's what they say, but at the same time they're not showing any sort of the evidence of the exact kaboom. Like, I tried to search from multiple of the Russian channels, but nothing. If Russians hit something and share the actual video, I might show it. Like, for example, it was the Ukrainian oil storage in Kiev Oblast. It was hit also by the Russian ballistic missile. So Russia is using very expensive tools to kaput Ukrainian energy infrastructure. This storage wasn't that big, but anyways, I think those strikes, they matter. And Russia started to introduce also machine vision into their drones. It's not that massively as in Ukraine, and still they don't have the means to control the drones on a far distance as Ukraine has. That's why Russia cannot like kaput Ukrainian logistics as Ukraine does for the Russian army, canceling all of the strikes. But Russia may program their drones to fly precisely to the stationary infrastructure. Like for example, Russia now cuts lots of the refueling stations in the eastern Ukraine. In Zaporizhia Oblast, Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv regions, the majority of the gas stations there were already hit by Russian drones. This is the very big problem, so Ukraine has to extend its fuel logistics in this case. Well, speaking about the Ukrainian drone operation, we have fantastic videos coming from Russian supplies. Yeah, basically all of their vehicles are being mainly kaputted on the way to reach positions. It is happening further away, middle strikes, it is happening closer to the front lines using FPV drones. And from what I see, Ukraine has way better connection now. I took it from Sternenko channel, and he is the biggest volunteer of Ukraine, the biggest drone army volunteer. He collects tons of the funds for tons of the drones, which is great. Fast and Furious, a Russian all-terrain vehicle with a trailer, probably used for supplies, and there is some sort of the wobbling, I guess it's. Yeah, he tries to avoid the drone, but it was too late. Too late. Yeah, the compilation, a usual one coming from Ukrainian border control unit. Some of the kabooms even of the Russian artillery systems. Ukraine is hunting them all the time, and Russian dugouts. Nice. Okay, so you're not ready for this, or maybe you have already seen this video. It went viral all around internet, especially on Twitter, on Telegram, like lots of the groups share it. It is freaking hilarious, probably the most fun video I have seen from the Russian army since the start of the war. Well, at least one of those. I watched it several times, like 10 times at least. So Russians put the Mi-24 cannon on this turret, and they put the turret inside the KAMAZ truck. So a really huge 4-barrel cannon. Then helicopter fires it, even the airspeed reduces, and it starts to shake violently. But they wanted to use it as the air defense anti-aircraft or anti-drone cannon. Okay, let's watch this video. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Okay. And it rotates. Every time. It's so fun, like, to watch it. Again, it never gets old. It will never get old. Let's try to find to look at this. He's wearing what? Sneakers here? Where are the army boots? And who was behind? Probably an instructor, yeah? He was just on time with this reaction. You see? Here it's 90 degrees. It's rotating very fast, and he is still not going down. And like really at the come on. At the last moment. I cannot stay calm here. Oh shit. He tries to stop it, and there was one more big mistake. Yeah, he stopped it, and look at his hand. Ah! Once again. It's hot. It's a freaking barrel. And the guy behind, well, I know Russian, so one of the soldiers said that you freaking shot our KAMAZ trucks. So this machine gun fired towards the cockpit of KAMAZ truck. I don't know, maybe it hurt also the engine, who knows, but the vehicle has been damaged. There are no any brakes for this system. It's like free flying, free rotating. This is stupid. There should be something, especially when they put a machine gun from one side. Well, maybe they tried it before already and it went well. Who knows? But here it was really one of the most hilarious videos of this war. Everything is wrong about this training, and I think caliber is 12.7. Maybe after all it's a machine gun, but it looks like on helicopters they have cannons. It's called a cannon, maybe. Yeah, actually that's the machine gun. Yak B 12.7 caliber, so machine gun, it's not the cannon after all. Okay, a training exercise involving Russian forces escalated into an incident. Some of the Russian soldiers have decided to surrender to Ukraine. On some of the drones, Ukraine put speakers to tell Russians like, follow me, follow to our positions, to guide them safely out from the gray zone or kill zone, and those Russians, they're happy that they surrendered to Ukrainian side. At the same time, Russians themselves were trying to kaput those Russians who surrender to Ukraine. That's the usual story. So it was the Russian infiltration attack. A small one, few of the Russian soldiers, and they decided to surrender. They were staying at the dugout for several days under Ukrainian drone fire, and finally there was the proposal and they agreed. Alright, Laura Loomer, who is a newborn Ukrainian supporter, before she was anti-Ukrainian and pro-Russian, but she changed the camps completely, and she accuses Russia of potentially poisoning, Lindsey Graham. She even retweets our Ukrainian influencer Kate from Kharkiv, who is doing a fantastic job to support Ukraine and also on X platform, or Twitter is better to say. So Laura says, did Russia just poison Lindsey Graham? So she calls for investigation. Lindsey Graham was in Ukraine one day ago calling for Russian sanctions bill that he claimed White House supports. Now he is suddenly dead. And later on she reposted the tweet of Dugin, better to flatline this guy, he is the problem for Trump, the world will be better without him. Dugin wrote about it before, about Lindsey Graham. So Dugin, one of the Putin's advisors, recently called for Graham to be cancelled. He said the world would be better without Graham. Yesterday Graham was in Ukraine meeting Zelensky and again pledged more United States support for Ukraine. One day later Lindsey Graham is dead. Well, guys, I wouldn't connect Graham's death right now with some of the conspiracy stuff, but yeah, it could be strange. It could be everything. I guess there should be an investigation just in case, but this bill for the Russian sanctions, this proposal, after all, everything depends mainly on Donald Trump. Yes, I have like this dualism towards that guy, mainly as a personality. I didn't like him. Well, after all, I think, it's my opinion, I could be wrong, that he was after all a pro-Ukrainian guy, but at the same time he failed to convince Donald Trump that it's better to introduce more sanctions on Russia with all of those bills, like 500% of the tariffs on Russia and so on. So it's after all up to Donald Trump, I mean, this all international policy. So with Graham, without Graham, I think everything would stay the same, because in modern day United States politics, I mean government itself, only Trump voice matters. And of course the legal system of the United States that sometimes cancels those orders of Donald Trump, and it is good that the power doesn't belong just to Donnie alone. So let's wait, check out, FBI already joined this initial part of investigation according to the recent information, we'll see. And speaking about volunteering, Jake Bro, congratulations once again, you have reached the goal, $1 million once again were collected for Train to Kiev Foundation, and it seems like Jake Bro is going to Kiev. Just be careful there, Jake. I don't know when you're going to go there, but the job you're doing to support Ukraine and Ukrainian army, it is outstanding. So I guess altogether he and his community, which is partially my community because we have the common audience, so altogether people have collected around $9 million just for Jake Bro campaigns. Crazy number, 9 million for, I think, 2 years or 2.5. Outstanding. Jake, thank you so much for supporting Ukraine. You're doing great job once again, yeah. And about our campaign, which we did with the same 69 Sniffing Brigade, well, here are the patches. Yes, I have received those yesterday. Fantastic patches, especially I like this one. Kaboom! It looks awesome. And for the next patches, I don't want to use AI, guys, so if you're artist yourself, or if you know some of the artists, please email me. My contact is available if you click on the YouTube channel about, and there will be my contact, okay? You understand where to find me. So we need 2 designs for 2 of the patches for the next campaign that will probably start this autumn, close to the winter time, and I don't want really to use AI for the artwork. I don't like it in art. Well, sometimes patches, they look awesome, like Kaboom or Volcano, but here, yeah, I look like Kadyrov, maybe, young Kadyrov, just making silly jokes. And also I have received this flag, I guess, from Ante special unit that received one of the cars, or maybe 2, I don't actually remember, but we collected for 11 cars altogether, and the full video with delivery will be published soon, but 10 of the vehicles have already been delivered, just waiting for 1 car to arrive. Yeah, guys, you're just amazing. We have fantastic community. And speaking about the friends of the channel, you know probably Caolan Robertson. He is Irish himself. And I guess because of his investigation, he put lots of the light on corruption schemes in business between Irish officials and Russian ones. There is the Rusal Refinery in Ireland that was working for Russian needs. It was supplying alumina material to Russia, and later on Russia was producing aluminium out of it. So now European Union urged to close it.
Today there was a vote in Parliament, a vote that looks like it could be the beginning of the end of the Russian ownership of that refinery.
Commission report on Ukraine, Amendment 8, who's in favor? Adopted.
This is the best result that could...
Yeah, so he went there, he discovered it, he made this investigation go viral, he confronted lots of the corrupt business officials and politicians.
And then the story broke open. One clip went viral, then another, then another.
Yeah, so he put the light. And later on, legacy media started to speak about it. Some of the European politicians, some of the Irish politicians. This Russian alumina refinery became the top story in Ireland, at least in political sphere. So those corrupt guys who try to avoid answering questions, they later have to disclose, like, what the hell is happening.
One of the missing pieces to the puzzle was a sample from Boeing that you suggested, which is a brilliant idea, could be tested against battlefield debris.
And he managed even to get the sample of this alumina, which is later on could be cross-checked with actual Russian, for example, missile debris or drone debris, and it could be proved that materials for the Russian military originate from European Union country.
Let's hope it has a happy ending somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it's gonna be a happy ending here, thanks to Caolan. You see, a power of nowadays independent journalism, of Caolan Robertson, who is not working for the big media corporation, but who has the guts to confront openly corrupt freaking bastards with his personal investigation. So the link for his investigation video I'm gonna put in the video description right below. You may check it out, it's very important. And it's not just about the single refinery in Ireland, it's about lots of the stuff happening in other countries of European Union too. The corruption is elsewhere. Trade with Russia is ongoing, actually full scale. As we know, Europe still purchases Russian fossil fuels. And Ukraine, well, Ukraine has to balance, because Ukraine, after all, receives the military support from European Union countries. So Zelensky, he cannot say you're freaking bastards, kleptocrats, corpocrats, hypocrites, you're financing Russia, Russia is killing us today, you're freaking, like, and so on, yeah? But we can say it like that. On our level, at least. We are not officials, we are not affiliated directly with the Ukrainian government. And even the official investigation from the Ukrainian officials in this case is not that possible. Ukraine is dependent, yeah, you have to balance your interests. But independent journalists like Caolan, thanks God they're out there. And if now there are additional sanctions been introduced against that refinery, it's a huge win for our community of those influencers who are pro-Ukrainian. So I am really proud of what guys are doing, and I know that many of the pro-Ukrainian influencers, they went to Ukraine already. They also launched their fundraisers and so on. So we are not staying at one place, we are developing, we're upgrading, evolving, and it's great. Well guys, that's it for now. I'm gonna keep you updated, and please support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or you may join YouTube membership by pressing button join. Yeah, obviously if you can, if you appreciate my job and if you have this sort of the opportunity. Thank you guys, you are making this content possible, and don't forget to press like to this video, subscribe to the channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.